Bandwidth for Vagary.tv podcast provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com. That's C-A-C-H-E fly.com.
Everyone, it is I, the High Priest, DJ SL, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style with episode number 54 of Retrocore Classic Game Music. Today's show, I'm going to have a new format. I take requests off and on through Twitter and emails. And, for the last, 53 episodes, I've basically just had a segment for requests. But this time I'm just going to throw them in with the playlist randomly. So, if a song is requested, yes, I will say who it was requested by. If you don't hear a name after it, that's just, part of the playlist that I picked. And also, today's show is going kind of back to the roots where we had more variety to the show. I know the last couple shows I've been kind of sticking to, themes or games I like or whatever. I know people like the show for variety, so that's coming back today, so expect the shows to have a big range of video game music, but don't expect to hear a lot of facts. You're going to just hear me, how I normally like it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. This game is for, video game music. It's not for facts. If you want to listen to that, listen to another podcast, or, just listen to a podcast for facts. This is a music podcast, so just listen to the music and enjoy. So here we are, folks. Let's get into it. I also included some Twisted Metal tracks from Twisted Metal 2. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, and the new Twisted Metal was released, so this is kind of a tribute to that. I know it probably doesn't live up to, Twisted Metal 2, but nevertheless, I put in some Twisted Metal 2 tracks throughout this episode, like 3 of them. So, alright folks, I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get on with it, shall we? Alan Price kicked us off there with Gangplank Galleon from Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. An awesome fun platformer known for its enhancement and graphics and sound. It was just amazing. Did a lot for the industry, so love Donkey Kong Country. Then we had Paris Monumental Disaster from good old-fashioned Twisted Metal 2. Just love that game. A lot of personal memories with it and just a lot of time with it with my buds. I have it now on my PS3. You can buy it on the PlayStation Network. And it's it's rough. It doesn't look very good. It plays okay, but I'd like to see a HD remake of Twisted Metal 2 myself. But that's just me. And the last song there was Nice Weather, Ain't It? From Live-A-Live, again on the Super Nintendo, or more, actually, the Super Famicom, because the game never came over to America. It is a RPG made by Squaresoft on the Super Nintendo, so it's something to look into. It is fan-translated on the internet, and I actually played through it and reviewed it on an early episode of Retrocore, so that's a little fun fact for you. Well, I am your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style, and let's get into some Nintendo, shall we? Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that little trio of songs there. The first one, Dungeon Theme from Star Tropics on the Nintendo, as requested by Nintendo Legend on Twitter. Thank you, Nintendo Legend. That's an awesome game. Awesome song. And thank you for helping promote, Retrocore and Retrocore classic game music. You've, expanded my audience by, 4,000. And, I highly appreciate that. You are awesome. So thank you so much. Then we had Grand Mountain. My track said Grand, but I believe it's probably Grand Mountain from Rygar on the Nintendo. Sorry for the stutter. And that is requested by Tim of Blank Showcast. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. And lastly was the title theme from Animal Crossing on the DS, requested by Chris Vent of Operation Retro Shock Podcast. And Chris, we're getting ready to go into another 3 songs, but I wasn't sure which title. You said title theme, Animal Crossing, So I'm going to go ahead and play one more title theme here, and it's the GameCube version. So, alright folks, I'm your host DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. And there is yet another 3 tracks of greatness. Again, the first track was another title theme from Animal Crossing on the GameCube, for Chris Vent because I wasn't sure which version you wanted, so I played both. Then we had Jammin' from Toe Jam and Earl on the Sega Genesis or Master System, depending on your area. And I know I should have probably trimmed that a little bit. It was a little long. But, I got to thinking, everyone usually, I get a lot of feedback about the show. People listen to it at work and whatnot. So, if you hear Toe Jam and Earl on the show from here on out, you need to start dancing no matter what you're doing. If you're at work or if you're at home and you're listening to the show, you hear Toe Jam and Earl, you need to start dancing. That's the new Toe Jam and Earl theme on the Retrocore classic game music. And lastly, we had Antarctica, the drop zone, again from Twisted Metal 2 on the PlayStation. Quick thoughts on the Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 3. I played the demo. I do not have the game yet. I am on a list to hopefully get a review copy to review on Retrocore Podcast, so that's something to look forward to. One of my biggest disappointments about the demo that I played, it did have online, but it was broken at the time. It's very hard, and they added a lot of unnecessary buttons. Of course, you can hop now, and it's just, they might have added that in Black. My memories are with Twisted Metal 2 and 3. So I didn't play Black or whatever was on the PSP. I never played those. So it might be something they added, now. But it's just, it's odd to get used to. Definitely go through the tutorial. And the other thing that was a big, big disappointment is Twisted Metal, the first three at least, their sound was done by the Twisted Metal sound team. And they did not do that in the new Twisted Metal. It's just your generic metal or rock music, Rob Zombie, stuff like that. So I was a little disappointed with that on the audio choice, but it's still good, and hopefully it turns out to be great. I get more to play with it, and just rather than a demo. So, all right, we're at that part of the show where we guess the song. I play the track, you guess the song. You can get a hold of me at Twitter, retrocore_RCVGM, or you can email me at retrocore@hotmail.com. Nobody guessed last time's guessed the song. It was a little hard. You'd have to be a hardcore Nintendo fan, old school Nintendo. It was from Rescue, the Embassy Mission. So yeah, a lot of people didn't play that game, obviously. So that one went unguessed. But alright, folks, everybody, guess this song. Woo Doggies, yeah boy, guess that song. Yeah, that's a good track. I love it. I'd love to tell you what it's from right now, but I can't. It's the rules. So yeah, get a hold of me again at retrocore_RCVGM on Twitter, or email me at retrocore at hotmail.com. Alright, end of the show here. Well, not end, but we got some more tracks for you. Getting into the other half of the show, I should say. Bobby, he requested a couple tracks from Secret of Mana, and everyone knows I'm a sucker for the music. So he gets 2 tracks for requesting an awesome game. So we're going to get into some music from Secret of Mana and more. I'm your host, DJ Sexy Lips, or DJ SL, the new hip name, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style. everyone who listens to this show knows how much I love Secret of Mana, or if you listen to Retrocore podcast, I did a whole episode dedicated to it. I just think it's the most amazing multiplayer game ever. Even rivals games today, to me. Like, that game could be remade on, like, the DS or 3DS now with Wi-Fi. Oh my god, that game would be amazing. I have all versions available. I own the Super Nintendo version. I own the Virtual Console version. And I also have the iPhone version. So, like I said, just huge fan of Secret of Mana. And Bobby requested Live Time for Love and Fear of the Heavens. Oddly enough, Leave Time for Love is the in-dungeon theme. And Fear of the Heavens is the opening theme. So, kind of odd there. And then we had Team USA from Super Dodgeball on the Nintendo. Good old, Nintendo fun. Gotta love the Nintendo Entertainment System. Love it. So, it's time to get into, we have 4 more tracks, and we'll get into the end of the show, folks. I'm your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. folks, that would be the show basically. First off, we had Encounter from Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. That was requested by Douglas Carter. And then we had our final track from Twisted Metal 2, Los Angeles, the Quake Zone. I love that track. That's like, it gets me pumped every time I hear it. Then we had Blue Field Theme by Pokemon Pinball, Game Boy Color version. Great game. And the outro to Retrocore, that's, the name entry theme. So I just love the soundtrack to Pokemon Pinball. And then lastly was Woodman from Mega Man 2, as requested by Ryan Kozar. And I do apologize for the quality of Blue Field Theme and Woodman. I didn't realize they were that poor of a quality, so I do apologize, but, that's the soundtrack I have. I do with what I have, so I'm sorry. And I do also apologize for my voice and nasaliness, and, I'm getting over sickness right now. Last 2 or 3 days I've been running a fever, and, all the stuff that comes with that, so I'm just getting over this sickness, and I figured, it's been a while since I've done the music show, I need to get one out for you guys, so we're at the end of the show, and it's time for Then and Now. And Then and Now, if you don't know, if this is your first time listening to the show, I play a track from a game from back then, and then play a new version, whether it be an OC remix, or an actual, remake soundtrack, or just whatever, I can find on the internet. And this one is another one from Family Jewels, if you remember. He's his own man band. He does all the guitar, the bass, the keyboards, the drums. Anything you hear, he does himself. He records each track singly and then mixes it all together. So Family Jewels is amazing in my books. So we got Goldenrod City from Pokemon Gold and Silver. I'm going to play the original track first. That's the Game Boy Color version. And then we will have the guitar cover by Family Jewels, Goldenrod City. If you want to check his work out, you can check him out on YouTube. His channel is Family Jewels, FAMILYJULES 7X. Yeah, it's on YouTube, and he has links where you can actually download these tracks. So, if you like these tracks, they're yours to take. So, alright folks, I have been your host for episode 54. I am DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style.